Yes, welcome again to Ref Corner here, the number one referee channel here in Jamaica. Here we are joined with a beautiful lady. She will um, tell you where she's from. She tell you all that good stuff, how she got introduced into refereeing. So please go ahead, and I don't want to mispronounce her name. I call her Shireen, but she will tell you all of that.
Yeah,
so go ahead, introduce yourself.
Yeah, Shireen is fine. Hi, everyone. I am Shireen Alleyne. I'm originally from Barbados, born and raised, and I now represent Jamaica as a FIFA Assistant International Referee. My journey started, I want to say 2016. It could be 2018. I could be wrong. It was 2000 and something. I was here in Jamaica for school. But unfortunately, I had to take some time off, so I had to go home to Barbados, but I had to find something to do in the meantime. I had an uncle who was already a central referee, and as I was growing up, I played football. I was on the national team. I traveled with the national team. So he introduced me. He said it was a natural progression from playing football on the national level to being a referee. So I gave it a shot. I'm always eager to do something that will make me run around, so I keep my body fit. So I was all on board for it. When I got in, I really hit it off, and it was something I automatically became good at. Of course, there's always room for improvement, but it became flawless for me. I didn't have to think about it. So I was like, I really like this. So I did the exam. I passed the exam. I did I believe one game, in Barbados, and by the January, I was back in Jamaica again for school. So I would have done the exam November, very close to the end of the year. So I didn't spend a lot of time after, I guess, becoming a referee, after doing the actual written test, till I was in Jamaica. So when I came back to Jamaica, I knew I was going to be here for some time, again for school. So what I did was I reached out to my association in Barbados, and I had them pen me a letter to Jamaica saying that I would be here and I would love to, somehow continue my journey in Jamaica. And that's the story. Ever since then, I came to Jamaica. I was part of the CASAFA because I was situated in Kingston on campus. So CASAFA was the closest association. So I started my journey there. And then after a while, I would have heard okay, the more FIFA referees are further away. So then I would have naturally transitioned to St. Catherine that had the more FIFA referees, because I really wanted to grow in terms of where I was being. Yes. Nothing that anything was wrong with CASAFA, but yes, I just wanted to go where I knew all the, I guess, the quote-unquote big boys were, so I could see what being a FIFA referee is really all about. Because again, I would have left Barbados so soon after becoming an actual referee. Barbados had two or three FIFA referees at the time, but I didn't really get a lot of time to interact with them before I left. So the majority of my journey was here in Jamaica. So when I came to Jamaica, and then I naturally signed up to St. Catherine, I met people like Stephanie Yising, who's gone on to do many World Cups, senior and junior women, and obviously men's games. And we would have connected, and then I would have started training with them, and then I would have done Major League. Yes, I think I did a lot of Major League in St. Catherine. Not Premier League as yet, because they were still trying to figure me out. Same thing for CASAFA. I would have done a lot of Premier League, or I guess Tier 2 you would have call it? Yes. Super League. So yes. And then as it got around that, I was here and I have some talent, then I got more games. Then I was introduced to this schoolboy, not the schoolboy entire tournament, but there was something called Elite 18. It no longer is happening anymore. Right. So that was my first introduction into schoolboy. So I would have done the Elite 18 game, and then the journey just continued after that. I remember even after that, a few months later, I did get one Premier League game. They were short of some persons, a lot of FIFA persons were traveling. Right. So they gave me a chance. So they said, go on and see what it's like. So my first ever Premier League game was at Humbalayan. It was Humbalayan versus, I can't remember the other team, but I definitely remember it being Humbalayan. That crowd. Yes, that crowd. There was this, that crowd. It was baptism by fire, let's just put it that way. But yes, that was my first experience of it. I still have the pictures and everything. I can't remember the other team, but I do remember the location. I remember the journey. If you guys don't know, Barbados is 166 square miles. We could fit in St. Catherine at least twice. Very small island. Very small island. So having to travel from Kingston to go Humber Lions, I was like, are we there yet? I constantly ask, how long is this going to take? Because I'm not accustomed to anything over 45 minutes. 45 minutes top, whole island. So going an hour and a half, 2 hours, I was like, this is a plane ride. We could have taken a helicopter here or something. This is painful sitting in a car, but even for that long. But I got to see the scenery. The highway wasn't even done yet, so it was a very long way around. But it was an experience, and I cherish it. I still have the appointment saved. I still have the picture commemorating who I did that game with, which was Odette, Andy, and Andre Farquharson. And yes, it was a moment I would never ever forget. So from then, I was just like, okay. They told me they gave me a chance, but Jamaica is not like Barbados. It's very strict. So there was like, if you want to do more Premier League games at this level, we need you to pass that fitness test. So they was like, we're giving you a taste to see what it's like. But if you really want to stay up here, you have to show us that you're determined by putting in the work to pass that fitness test. So eventually, I worked my way up into passing the fitness test. I did it in Barbados actually, because I would have been home at the time. And then I came back. Unfortunately, I wasn't nominated that year, which was 2022, 2002. So I was like, okay, let me put matters back into my hands again. So I would have, before, like I told you, I would have just gotten like the invitation to basically train with Jamaica, but this time I took it upon myself to actually transfer my entire registration from Barbados to Jamaica. So although I am a Barbados citizen by birth and passport, I represent Jamaica. I represent Jamaica at the FIFA level. So I would have took my registration from Barbados. I would have done my very first MA course, which another milestone I definitely remember. And I would have passed the fitness test and I would be nominated, and this will be now going on my second year on the FIFA list.
Okay.
Yes.
Awesome. Officiating here in Jamaica at the Premier League level, without even calling the name of the team. I mean, you call the name, you're going to actually give it away. But we have venues that are hostile, we have venues that are not so hostile. We have venues that are calm. You can go there and officiate. Which venue would you say, not venues, but which venue would you say is the hardest to officiate?
Wow.
Not the team, the venue. Because teams can be playing well, and then the venue. When you walk in there, it's SYM, right through.
Wow. The venue. I have a top 3 actually.
Okay.
So that would definitely be Humber Lions. It would definitely be Waterhouse. Waterhouse is the one with the gully, right?
By Jude, yes.
Yes, definitely Waterhouse, and obviously Arnett Gardens. Yes.
Oh, Arnett Gardens.
Yes.
Oh.
Arnett Gardens.
Okay.
I've apparently become a member of Arnett Gardens because all of my games are there. I guess I'm handling the pressure well. So those are my top 3. In terms of my top 3 that I'm okay with, obviously Stadium. That goes for both Stadium and Stadium East. Yes, Sabina Park. And who else?
Sabina Park is a very good venue.
I guess those are my top 2. Yeah, top 2. I don't have
How different is, I mean, in comparing Barbados to Jamaica, obviously the styles of reffing is different, although we all are referees. Style is different, plays different, players are different. How do you compare reffing in Barbados, say the top league, versus reffing in Jamaica, our top league?
Okay, well, like you would have said, there's a vast difference. The football here is much better, is a much higher standard, it's faster, it's more technical, and I would say we also have, Jamaica has a lot more younger players on the team. Barbados has their own Premier League, but a lot of the players are older because they just been playing football for so many years. They're just a part of the team, so it's not. There are young people. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, there are older players that stay in the team. Not saying that they're not good, but obviously they're not as fast.
Yes, longevity.
Yes, longevity. So I don't have, the crowd isn't as hostile. There's no SM boys.
Yeah,
there's no that in it. You will obviously get the occasional person in the crowd that obviously feels they know more of the game than you. Yes, they are. You not in alignment and they're up there and I am down here, and I'm like, how can you tell I'm not in alignment? You aren't in alignment either. It used to tick me off because I'm like, you don't know what you're talking about, but I guess I got so used to it in Jamaica now that I just laugh it off most times. The alignment thing is because you realize after a while a lot of the persons don't know the rules, or they base their interpretation of how they used to play, and the game has changed so much since then, evolved so much, or for what they seen on Premier League on a Sunday, and that's another bag of worms. Yes, yes.
Very, very true.
Yeah, so that's how it's vastly different. It's just the tempo and the atmosphere is more intense. So you have to be really confident in yourself and calm in yourself, or according to Jamaicans, these people will draw you out. They will draw you right out, and you'll get so distracted just focusing on what their opinion of instead of what's on the game. So I'm not saying it's an easy road. It's not an easy thing, especially for me, that's someone that didn't grow up in an atmosphere like that. Like you, again, Barbados, you only have one or two persons heckling you, and they're not heckling you the whole game. Jamaica, there'll be someone's sole purpose to heckle you the entire game before the game starts. Like that first Humberlion game, there was this Rasta man behind me. He cursed me the entire 90 minutes. He had not watched a drop of the game yet. His job was to just nag me the entire time. And after Humberlion's win, you know what he said to me? You're trying to stop us, but we ain't stop us. I was like, I don't even know anyone. So they seem to think that the referees take it personal, but really and truly it's not. And another thing that also happened too is if you try to butt them outside of the game, they're just like, oh, that was just the atmosphere, it was just the moment, I didn't mean anything by it. So imagine you were getting all riled up and angry and holding on to it till you see them again, and they've completely forgotten what they said to you. Yeah, so you just got to be really sure in yourself, confident in yourself, and that takes a lot of internal work, and it takes a lot of work behind the scenes. You just can't, okay, I passed the fitness test, Premier League, and not do any work behind the scenes. You have to keep training, you have to keep on top of your fitness, you have to keep on top of the law, especially because, again, the law is always changing. The game is also always evolving, and the players are also evolving with it. They're always finding ways to circumvent the law. Like, oh yes, you could do this. And they always, yes, because everyone interprets everything differently, yeah? So what you might say is A, I might say is B. So you have to come to that common consensus that, okay, although you say it differently, this is what it actually is supposed to be.
So true. So true. All right, going a step further, your international career, tell us tournaments you have been to, and how did that go?
Oh, I've been to a number of tournaments. I've been to tournaments even before I became a FIFA referee. So actually, when my first tournament was a U14 girls, they were now starting to get the rhythm of U14 girls again. There was always U14 boys, but it seemed to be like every other year, and then the same thing was girls. So CFE was like basically trying to get their foot in when I had my first international appointment, and that was in Puerto Rico. Not a drop of Spanish. And we would obviously, I would have been mixed with other Puerto Ricans officials. I would mix with persons from St. Kitts, and it was also for persons from Haiti. So there was a cohobla pot of languages and cultures that I was introduced to the first time, and I made some lifelong friends. The Puerto Ricans, we still are friends. The Haitians, and another Puerto Rican there would have retired, and the St. Kitts girl, I'm not sure where she is, but the two Puerto Ricans, Hanishka and Ionis, I still see them all the time at tournaments, follow them on social media.
Right.
So from that time, I made a lifelong friendship until this point. And I would have done a number of U14s as they continue to develop. And again, being that I was in St. Catherine and around these other FIFA officials, and they began to buzz about, okay, my capabilities, it got back to a gentleman of the name of Dave Miko, and he would have been like, okay, she training, how is she doing, whatever. So then he basically put forward my name for the U14, and then at this point I had no idea who he was. So then he would also put forward my name for U15. So then I inquired who he was, and then I find out he was the head of CONCACAF for the entire region.
Right.
So that's just a pointer, just put in the work, because you never know who is watching you or who is behind the scenes just inquiring about what you're doing. So, you know, sometimes you just gotta lock and keep your head down, block out the noise, and not worry about, you know, the journey, just focus on your process. So I would have gone to my first U15, and at that U15, I became a CONCACAF official. So I would have gotten a CONCACAF badge. I had no idea that you could wear your CONCACAF badge regionally.
Yes,
but so I just took mine off and I put it on. I was like, okay, these are only for CONCACAF games.
Yeah.
I had no idea it was a status like FIFA that you could wear it home. So a missed opportunity for me. So I did U15 and I did exceptionally well. I did a finals actually, yes. I did one of the finals for Group B.
This is females tournament.
This is females, yes. Okay. And then after the year after that, again, U14. By now, U14 had officially been organized. CFU was up and running. CFU had a name again.
Right.
So now I would have been to U14 boys. And that would have been a tough one because, yes, it was right after COVID. So a bunch of the boys had aged out, but because it was COVID, they didn't want them to miss the opportunity to play.
Right.
So now although it was U14, there were 15 and 16-year-olds there. And I don't know if you guys have ever seen a 16-year-old from Haiti play ball. A different ball game. Touch and go, unlike anything you've ever seen. So that would have been an experience, and I would have done a semi-finals and a finals for that tournament. The finals, I was the fifth official, because the previous day was the semi-finals, and normally in refereeing world, you don't do a semi-finals, then a finals, and especially you don't do it one day and then the next day. So naturally, I knew I was going to be like a reserve official for that. But I'm still glad for the final. And then, yeah, I was in a number of interviews. And what else? I think the next year, FIFA again, I would have gone back to another U14 and another U15. And then when I did get the badge, we got the badge. Or we did the test in July. And the nomination was gone in for November. The next January, I was at a U17. I had now upgraded or advanced to U17, which was a goal of mine. So I need to say, if you're coming into referee, have goals. Because I was like, okay, U14 now, I want to get to U15. When I got to U15, I checked that off. I was like, okay, I need to get to U17. And so said, so done. So hopefully this year I can get to a U20. So yes, I did U17. It was in Mexico. Again, different cultures and different atmosphere. Mexico, the altitude is up here.
Thin air.
And I didn't know in Mexico could get snow. It was freezing. We didn't have snow where we was, but it was below zero. I had no idea. So me and my colleagues got very sick. We got something called altitude sickness. So I actually got a cold, and my other colleagues, they can't breathe in the altitude. I could breathe, but obviously I was sick.
Right.
Yes. So that was my first U17, and we got to the semi-finals. My team, me and my entire referee team, got to the semi-finals. Unfortunately, I couldn't compete in the semi-finals because I got really sick again. I would have gotten sick when I got there, or recovered, but then I got sick again.
Right.
So it was just, the cold just came back, so I couldn't go on to the game. So someone stepped in for me, but I guess you still get tick next to your name for the semi-finals. So this year we're going to another U17. It's not going to be in Mexico. So I'm very excited for that, and hopefully again I could get to a semifinals and actually do the finals. Semifinals, finals, those are every tournament. That's what I always aim for, to help the team get to semifinals or a finals.
Right, very good. So in summing up, 2 quick questions in wrapping up. One, have you ever done a game that the 3 of you or the 4 of you don't speak the same language? And lastly, in doing a game, obviously the gender is different and the age group is different. Which do you prefer? Say, are you 17 boys tournament or are you 17 girls tournament?
Okay, so for your first question, yes, I've done a number of games where each official speaks a different language. So for U14, I've done games where I was the English speaker, one assistant was a Spanish speaker, and the other 2 officials were French. So one trick that I've learned the basic things in Spanish or French. So I know to say foul, saying falta, and corner and goal kick. So you know at least the basics. So you could still communicate with it. It takes a lot of eye contact as well on the game, a lot of concentration so you don't cross. So sometimes the pre-talk could be a little tricky because of course, different language. Sometimes you need a translator. But sometimes you obviously you watch TV, and again, you're being a lot around Spanish speakers, you pick up on words or French speakers. So you might not be able to follow the whole sentence, but you get the context of the sentence. So then you're able to understand and follow the conversation as it goes. I've also had assessors not a drop of English, and they're assessing me that doesn't know a drop of Spanish. So sometimes translators, or again, you just lock in and just use what you have for content. So it doesn't really have it's not a big barrier in terms of when you're on the field. I'm guessing off the field, you have different cultures and stuff like that, and that's where you might find that you see the differences. But on the field, for some reason, it's cohesive because they even set up again to learn the basic English language for fouls and goal kick and stuff like that. So there's always some baseline form of communication. And you said, what was the other question? Or which I prefer? You know, it doesn't really matter because you would think U17 boys will be faster than girls. But USA boys and USA girls are the same thing. It's the same speed, the same technicality, the same touch and go, the same running, cold, hot. It doesn't matter. They are going to run. So it depends on the team. So yeah, it doesn't matter depending on the team. Haiti boys and Haiti girls, same technicalities, like they're trained together, same set of running. But that's for the higher level. If you're talking about the teams that aren't as technically advanced, so you have like the Cayman Islands, Bermuda, those girls that they seem to be no starting out. For that, I would prefer the boys because the boys seem to have a little bit more handle on it. So you don't get a lot in the women's games when at that level. You want to fall asleep and you can't fall asleep because that's when it gets tricky. You see on call for handballs and you're like, how? Yes, like the application of the law really kicks in those games that are slower. For the boys games, you don't have a lot. Of course, you still apply the law, but it's not the law mishaps. You don't see a law like deliberate handballs and stuff like that. So it really has, the girls keep you on your cues mentally, but the boys keep you on your cues physically because they're always moving. Yeah.
So in wrapping up, I want you to invite young girls, young ladies who want to be a part of this profession, some of the good things that you've experienced and why they should become a referee.
I will always encourage a person to come to referee in their younger days. Get that experience in, and as soon as you hit, I think the threshold is 21, 22 before you can become FIFA. Put in the work before then, and as soon as you get your FIFA badge, you get to travel the world for free. You get to meet so many people, so many new cuisines. If you love to eat like me, you get to experience so much new food. And again, meeting new people. Like I said, I've met lifelong Puerto Rican friends. Barely any English, and I know barely any Spanish, but that camaraderie is there for life. So I would encourage anyone to just...
You get paid in US dollars.
And I get paid in US dollars. Could you imagine? I remember going to a job interview, and my salary for the month is what I was getting paid at my next tournament, which I was only going away for 4 days. So imagine that. Instead of working a whole month, all I had to do was work for 4 days, and I was making the same exact salary. So I will encourage anyone to come out, get your feet wet into it, and then if anything, lock in. Like, there's a guy named Shaquem Ball. This is now his first year in it, and he's already going to a U14, a U40 course because of his potential. So it's not like my day or even before my day where you have to put in 8 years, 6 years, a whole bunch of time. You could come in it today and be on a flight to Mars to see potential. There's a girl from Don Rep named Vimarez. Vimarez is a FIFA. She was refereeing less than a year. And she's a FIFA, and she's been to a World Cup all within her first year of refereeing. Big places. So it's not as hard as it used to be. So I would encourage anyone to come in and just, if you really have a passion for football, just come in it and, you know, find your own niche, find your own thing, find your own style. I have my own style. Every referee has their own style. If you've ever seen Oceanation, he likes to flick his card out before he points it. Yes, everyone has their own flair. For me, I like to spin my flag and whip it. Everyone has to find your own thing, and most importantly, have fun. Enjoy the game. Yes, there's a lot of noise. The game is fast. But if you are having fun and you're genuinely enjoying what you're doing, you hear none of that, and it makes your performance so much better. Take it from me, this year, I'm really having fun. My first year, I was so nervous all the time because it's my first year. FIFA, I had this pressure. Everybody's like, you get the badge, you're gonna maintain it, so your performance is gonna be up. There was so much pressure on me. I did not have a good first season. But this year, I was like, let go of that noise and really have fun. And I've had a schoolboy finals. I'm doing even more Premier League games now. There hasn't been a weekend I haven't been on a game. I'm doing all of the faster games. I don't know if that's on purpose, but I'm doing all the faster games. And I'm doing all the, I would say, the more high pressure games. I'm working with more experienced persons. I'm being paired more with my seniors like Parchment and Nation and those guys to do like the semi-finals and finals. So this year has been, this season for me has been great because I have finally started to see the fun in being a referee, and it's paying off.
Thank you, Shireen.
You're welcome.
I just want to say I'm extremely grateful. I remember when I just started my channel, you were one of the first referees in St. Anne to do a short snippet interview on my channel. So if you have reached this far in the video, please like, share, and subscribe as I give you more content. Ref Corner, peace out. Thank you.
Thank you.